looking down the hole, you're looking up at...
This ain't no disco.
While we were trying to get a hold of you, Matt was trying to add you to the thing because I don't know why we put Matt in charge of this kind of stuff.
I know,
right?
I got it instantly. Like, it was not an issue for me to do it, you fuck.
Okay, that's fair. But anyway, Matt was like, he was like looking for you, and he like saw your picture. He's like, what is it? This hentai picture? And I started fucking dying. And he's like, well, isn't that what it's called? Like getting all serious about it. And I'm like, no, it's anime, dude. He's like, aren't they the same thing?
Oh man, I mean, to certain people they are. Yeah.
Legitimately did not know they were separate things.
Yeah, one has like, tentacle monsters sticking things in places. It's like the emphasis in which you say something, like,
I don't know if it's sexualized or not.
It's all depends on what the creatures are doing in the cartoon.
But that's a best the sea god or whatever.
Or that new what's the one that produces tentacle tokens?
Oh, the 3-drop thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing would be more fuckable than Thassa best the sea god.
God damn it.
I'm so turned on right now.
See? Hentai. Well, fuck. What have you been up to, Cory?
Nothing much. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, good. My level's good?
Yeah, you good.
All right.
Literally cannot sound worse than Matt on a regular basis, so.
True.
So, the Heavy Meta guys, they did their Christmas special, and they had like this Audio Technica mic giveaway.
Yes, sir.
And I was so hoping that I was going to win it so I could fucking send it to Matt.
And I had the exact same thought process where I was like, oh, if I win this, Matt is going to get the best birthday present. Because it's really just giving me a gift at that point.
Yeah, well, it's giving so many people a gift.
Everybody who has to listen to your dumb voice.
Yeah, I'm just bad with I
am going to stab you in your neck. If I can afford a mic and I'm unemployed, I think you can handle it.
Yeah, but that's a whole thing of having to do it is the real thing.
You mean plugging it into your USB?
No. Like,
Cory, he would have to go on to Amazon. He would have to click 3 separate buttons.
Oh man, that's.
And then when it came in the mail, he would have to open the box. And then inside the box, there's another box with the mic in it. Like, this whole process.
There's probably tape over those boxes. God damn it.
Yeah, so he would have to find, like, a knife or a pair of scissors.
And we know how dangerous those are.
You guys get it. So, we actually have some shit. Well, I actually thought of some shit driving 5 hours the other day.
Sexy.
To actually talk about that. Urza not being dead.
Wait, before you say anything else, do you remember that one time where I told you that Urza was still going to be a deck and you were like, there's no way. Oh, there's no way it's going to be a deck. Oh.
Yeah, I'll eat my words on that.
Cool.
For sure.
Okay.
I didn't think it was going to be viable. Yeah, I was wrong.
That's okay. That's all I want.
Toothless little bitch.
That's fine. You telling me that I'm right to just
Did you ever see How to Train Your Dragon?
Like the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, the dragon's name's Toothless.
Yeah, but everyone loves him. That's the...
God fucking damn it.
It was a windy path, but we got there.
I was like waiting to see what you were going to try to put together with that. I am more than impressed.
I got there.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Fetch and Shock podcast. I am your host, a house made of straw, Tyler. And joining me, as always, is my co-host, a housemate of sticks, Matt. And this week, we have a very special, a housemate of bricks, Cory. Cory, what is up, dude?
What's up, guys? Glad to be back. And I really hope just because I'm made out of bricks, that doesn't mean that you're not going to try and blow me.
Oh, no, 100%. I like that. That wasn't even scripted. That was a good one.
We're both going to have to get you down.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Off so well.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah. Me and Matt, if you haven't learned at this point, we are greater than the sum of our parts. So you're in for a great time.
You guys are like a meld card.
Oh my god, yeah, we're Brazella.
That is the worst fucking angels. Meld card.
Which one's the worst meld card?
Us blowing Cory.
God damn it!
I prefer like the uncommon rat, to blow me.
More power to you, bud.
Yeah, if like we were a meld card, we would be awful.
It'd be good.
It'd be like the two commons that come together and make something that make like a basic land.
Speaking of rats, this is the year of the rat, so happy rat year to you guys.
Yeah, happy rat year, everyone.
And they came out with the special
Secret Lair.
Secret Lair.
Yeah, it's super secret lair of the
And
rats.
it was just rats. And what'd you guys think?
Oh yeah, we totally like passed that up because for some reason ran under our radar until like last week, and then we talked about it. And we were like, oh yeah, we should have probably talked about that, and then forgot about it entirely.
It was after we stopped recording that we were talking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And we were like, oh, we should have talked about this. Yeah, well, we did.
Yeah, it was like, oh, good episode. We covered a lot of ground there. Oh wait, we're fucking idiots.
I did not know how expensive that one rat.
The Morronar.
Yeah.
Yeah, little on the expensive side. I would have bought that Secret Lair because I am a rat aficionado, but I just was not a fan of most of the art.
Corey, you being a rat aficionado is the least surprising thing I think of.
Yeah, I mean, they're all about discard, and they're all dirtily, so it's perfect for me.
Yeah, that seems like right up your alley.
Yeah, but did you guys see that, was it the Relentless Rats or Rat Colony has gone up in price? Really?
That's the worst one, isn't it?
The regular one, not the Secret Lair one, I think is, see what it is. TCG player average $292.
Well, I'm looking at the Secret Lair one right now, and it's only like $6.
On Card Kingdom, the Rat Colony from Dominaria is $249, and the Rat Colony is actually sold out, but $690.
Oh, wasn't that like a common from Dominaria?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, MTG Finance Podcast. Go through your old Dominaria commons and pull them shits out.
I guarantee I have some of these in a box somewhere.
It's funny you mentioned that because I was building a Corvald rat deck that the guys over at the Salty Commanders podcast they had put together, and it was an interesting little brew. Check them out. I think it was podcast number 15 of theirs. Ooh. And I was like, this is actually a decent looking deck. I'm not usually a fan of the more than one ofs in a EDH deck, but it seemed annoying, and so I bought 25 rat colonies at 50 cents a piece. And now that the buy list is like what, 163 a piece, I'm like, yeah, fuck this deck.
Oh, you're
cashing
rich
that shit in.
You're gonna sell your rat colonies, just buy like a new house. You're gonna have a vacation home in like Barbados or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Worth it.
Yeah, rat colony is such a sick card though. Everything from that whole set was just
That's
so
the worst
cool.
one though.
I guess not in the context of like the decks that you're putting it in, right?
No, Relentless is just better. It gets +1/+1.
Yes, and this one only gets the
+1 +L. Yeah. Granted, it costs one more, but
yeah, we're going for cheap rats, bud.
I feel like it's worth it to spend an extra mana and have additional toughness as well.
I guess also it's in Commander too.
Yeah, I guess there's not a lot of sweepers.
Your curve isn't
deal
super
with,
considerate.
Well, that, and they have a fuck about sweepers or sweepers. There's not really sweepers that 2 damage.
This deck, by the way, I'll send it to you guys, but it is gross. There's a Bantu's Monument, so the rats end up costing just a single black.
Ooh, that's insane.
And then so Blood Bond March. It is 2 a black and a green for an enchantment. Whenever a creature spell is played, each player returns all cards with the same name as that spell from his or her graveyard to play.
Oh, huh.
So, you just, who cares if your rats die? Because you go ahead and cast one, and they all come back, and God forbid you have a Warstorm Surge out.
Jesus.
You just blow up the fucking world.
Wouldn't it be better to play white somehow and play, like, Rally the Peasant?
Yeah,
Is it Rally the Peasant?
A Rally the Peasants is the white with a flashback for a red that gives creatures +1.
Ancestors, Rally the Ancestors. It's X white and returns everything X or less.
But if you're making a rat deck,
you're not playing white, yeah.
Like mono black just seems like the move, right?
Yeah, I think you kind of have to. I think there are some. There's a black red rat Dissension, I think.
Yeah, but again, if you're playing mono rats, the whole goal of that has to be keeping it.
Keep it themey, bitch.
Oh yeah, keeping it themey. I think the Corvold version is just like an ultimate sacrifice version where you have things like Greater Good, where the rats get super big, so you don't mind discarding 3 cards after you draw like 9.
Yeah, exactly. Like, as long as you're drawing more than 4 cards, that card is insane.
Yeah.
Wizards make rats great again.
I think they just did. It's the year of the rat. They just, they didn't make them, like, the cards different, but they gave them different art.
Print an Oko in rat form.
Yeah, what? Just print exact
Print a
Oko?
1-mana black planeswalker that says +1, make a 1/1 rat.
Oh
-2,
my god.
Make 3 1/1 rats.
Did you
And
just
it
try to
starts-
say a 1-mana planeswalker?
fuck it, it's making a 1/1 rat. Actually,
I think you don't.
Honestly, that's probably better than like Bitter Blood. So let's be very
Yeah,
honest.
that's like significantly better.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
It just comes down with 0 loyalty.
Just a
Fucking
Deathrite
yellow,
Shaman, but like rat form.
Oh, and
I
like
have some fond memories of playing.
Okay.
Razor Tooth was the. I used to have a mono black deck, and that couldn't be blocked.
Oh yeah. But now you got me thinking. A rat planeswalker would be sick.
I mean, there pretty much is one. It's like Marinars.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like an actual factual rat planeswalker. That like
Fucking
makes
Master
rats.
Splinter, dude.
Yeah, Master Splinter, exactly. He just makes rats, or he makes turtle tokens, and you sacrifice a turtle token.
No, you don't
Sacrifice a turtle token. You do stuff. You sacrifice other shit to make your turtle stronger.
You
Oh, you
sacrifice
sacrifice-
the rats.
It makes a pizza token, and then you could sacrifice the pizza token.
Any turtle gains the ability to sacrifice the pizza token. Put 2 1/1 counters on it.
Put an Umazawa's Jitte on the battlefield.
I'm down. I'm sold.
So it's basically food tokens. So what you're saying is that we need to get like an altar of food tokens, but just to have like a Pizza Hut pizza on there.
Guys, I think we just remade Oko. Mono Black.
Sounds like it.
See, this is how it got started at Wizards. They were all joking around, and
They
before
were
you
all
knew it,
stoned after work. It's like sitting around. It's like, what if we made one that made food?
oh, that reminds me, dude. Let's order some pizza. Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I got pizza pockets in the freezer.
What's that thing we used to eat back in the day? Oh yeah, pussy. That's right.
Yeah. Ain't that thing?
God damn it. Well, back on these rat cards. I mean, these are great. The art, though, some of these arts are fucking wild.
I think I'm
It's
just
like
not a fan of like the. It looks like that one movie, the something in Otis. Fuck, am I trying to think of? You know, where the little mice go on the
I was saying,
adventure.
you're talking about, like the, it's like the cartoon one.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of that art style so much.
It was like an early 90s, like late 80s, like Disney style thing.
Absolutely. Now I gotta fucking look this shit up.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about because I definitely watched it. But like
Oh,
some
it's
of them
like-
aren't
I know what you're
cartoony,
talking.
but the ink eye's Servant of Oni, that one's like a black and white like hard ink drawing. It is wild. It is so good.
Oh yeah, that one is like the best of that whole set.
I honestly think that might be like the best Secret Lair art that we've seen.
Oh, I see what you mean. It is like black and white. That's pretty dope.
Yeah. And I can only imagine, I haven't seen those in person, obviously, because I don't know anybody who has purchased that, but I can imagine those look unreal in foil.
So I ended up getting the 5-color Secret Lair.
Oh yeah, the one
Planeswalkers
with like the Sliver Lord and stuff like that.
Or yeah, the commander
Yeah.
one, not the planeswalker one.
Yeah, I just wanted it for the dragon, because
Ur
I
dragon.
have a commander deck, yeah. And those cards look so much better than I anticipated. Like, I took them out and I was like, just by myself in my house, just like in awe. Like, wow, this looks amazing.
Yeah, just like drooling on them before you can even put them in sleeves.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, our buddy Austin bought the Dredge one because he plays Dredge in every format.
Bought 4 of them.
Yeah, he bought 4 of them so he could have play sets of each of them. And I saw them like the first time he played one against me. I'm like, whoa, we have to stop this game and like completely. You have to like take these out of your deck so I can see them because I had not seen any of them yet. So then we had to stop the game. I looked at all of them and then we restarted a new game just because I had to look at how fucking good they were. Like, I didn't expect that foiling process to be as nice. I hate foils. These foils are something I can get behind.
See, I don't think it was the foiling process. I think the art style, because those 5-color ones, those look
Oh, yeah.
fucking incredible. The what the fuck is the cantrip? Serum
Serum
Visions
Visions.
looked fucking incredible.
Yeah, the
Dredge
Serum Vision
ones
is very good.
Looked incredible. The cat ones, like, I'm sure there's people who are fucking going crazy because cats probably love it, but
Oh yeah, like I have not seen the cat ones in person, but I have seen the Serum Vision ones and I have seen the Dredge ones. I have not seen the 4-color ones or the 5-color Commander ones in person, but I actually have seen them online, and those ones look fucking nuts too. But I'm sure they're just even better online or in person.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Just to tie a little bow on this, the movie was An American Tale, Fievel Goes West.
Oh, fucking Fievel, bud.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
It's just
Pretty
just
much like a
Oregon Trail, but
metaphor
with
for-
animals.
No, it's like a metaphor for Lawrence or something.
It would have been better if it's the Oregon Trail, but with animals.
Probably.
Oh, that's a new plan. We're dropping the podcast and we're making an all animated movie that's just the Oregon Trail, but all the animals die of dysentery.
I'm down.
Fuck that game.
Dude,
God,
try and
dude.
shoot those ox, dude. That's harder than it looks. That bullshit green screen, you can barely even see what you're doing.
I would say that screen does not translate very well to a game. You can barely read the text, let alone do any of the actual things that you're supposed to do. God damn it. And welcome to the Fetch and Shock Oregon Trail podcast.
You know, the funny thing about the Oregon Trail is that it involved the pioneers.
Motherfucker.
Smooth. That
Wow.
was smooth.
I just got snaked so hard on my fucking
He
transition.
undercut you hard.
Wow.
I felt it coming. I felt it coming, and I had to step up and do it.
Corey, I think you're the queen of transitions now.
Oh, behave.
I have not been usurped as the king, but you are rapidly approaching.
He's a queen of something.
Transitions, we already covered that. But Pioneer. Yeah, Pioneer is a format that we have actually got to see some. I know it's hard to believe, but we actually got to see coverage of it. Pioneer.
Yeah, we had
A lot of it.
2 players tours this past weekend.
Yeah, and I didn't think in the year 2020 I would say that we had Magic coverage of anything, but turns out that
Well, there were
Wizards still believes.
There were 2 players tours and the SC.
Yeah, so we had an entire weekend of Magic coverage, and I tried to bounce in and out of seeing what was going on, but I'm so disconnected from the world of actually watching paper Magic being played that I was like, oh, I just I have not put this on my priority list in so long. There was a point in time in my life where during the weekend I would have that stream of whatever GP was going on my television nonstop, and I would bounce in and out of doing actual things with my life and watching that, but it was always on because I just knew every weekend I would be able to see some kind of coverage. Now I'm just oh, I forgot this existed. This is such a nuanced concept now.
Yeah, I haven't actually pulled up Twitch to watch Magic in a very long time, so I was able to pull it up and catch some of the matches. And holy crap. So I was watching, what was I watching? In the finals, it was Spirits versus Auras.
Yes.
Pro Tour Naguya or whatever.
Yes.
Players tour.
Whatever.
It was Bant Spirits versus Saram Auras, so Orzhov.
Yeah, which was such a wild deck to see in the finals. But that was also the Naguya one. And I can't remember the last time I looked at results from any tournament that happened in Japan and looked at deck lists and thought, oh, I would have thought of that. That's
No,
something
they're
I would
fucking
play.
wild.
No, they're a level above, maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah, every time I look at a Japanese list, I'm just like, wow, they are going so deep on this, and I love it so much.
And so it looks like we have 5 Dimir inverter decks in the top 8 as well.
Yeah, it turns out everybody was worried about Splinter Twin being a thing with Heliod and Walking Ballista, but actually Splinter Twin is a thing, but it's with Inverter and Oracle of Thassa.
Turns out 6 mana, I win the game. Pretty good.
Yeah, not a bad combination. But we actually talked about this deck last week a little bit, so if you want to hear us go into detail, do your homework, go back, listen. But yeah, this deck was there. That Inverter deck is just wild.
So I want to ask you guys a question. Do you think that maybe in the near future, this deck or some of the cards in it would deserve a banning, or do you just want to see this format play out and kind of take care of itself?
So with this deck, it feels like it is so easy to just beat. All you have to do is just be much more aggressive than what it's doing, or just have some way to interact. I don't think anything in this deck specifically needs banned at all.
I actually agree with you. Joel Larsson kind of said it best. Disruption followed up by another piece of disruption. You just pretty much win the game
because they are not a fast.
No, you just put the stones in this deck if you can somehow just stop them from doing their thing.
Yeah, and like Graveyard Hate does kind of accelerate them where they can just go 6 mana, I win. But you follow up with a Thoughtseize or have a counterspell or you're clocking them in the process, they have a rough time dealing with.
Yeah, and the thing is, you can just like let the Inverter of Truth resolve if you have some kind of Graveyard Hate. If you keep one piece of Disruption up and deal with their Thassa's Oracle, and they don't have any other blue pips on the battlefield, or if you just deal with it on the stack, then they just like, what are they going to do? They have one more turn.
Yeah, you have 2 counterspells. They have 1 counterspell.
Yeah.
Game over. And it is nice because it does get hit by Mystical Dispute, which is 1 mana leak.
Yeah, that card's really good.
And also, like you were saying, man, you let the Oracle hit the battlefield. You fatal push it before the trigger resolves, and yeah, they have however many turns before they just deck themselves. And if you have like the Rest in Peace or something, just like online post board, like enjoy your 1 turn with a 4 or with a 6/6 flyer that can attack.
Well, I said before that if you kill it in response, if there's no other blue pips, that is still correct. But if it is 0 and you have 0 cards in your deck,
then you win.
Yeah, you just win no matter what.
So you do have to interact with this on the stack.
If that trigger goes on the stack and there's 0 cards, even if you kill it in response, it's still 0 and you just win.
But like you're
in the world where you do have interaction, a lot has to go right for this deck to do its thing.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, Matt, a well-placed Thoughtseize or Counterspell and the deck is fucked.
Yeah.
It's really
I do think that, Corey, you missed last week. I don't know if you listened to the episode, but Lieb
I listened to most of it.
Words about Treasure Cruise and Dig being banned within the 6-month starting period. They have not been banned yet, but I could see if anything, this sort of combo deck is what would push Dig over the top. I forget which one I was watching, but someone cast 3 Dig Through times in a row. Not in the same turn, but consecutive turns. Dig Through time and did something else. 3 turns in a row.
Which is just like, how do you even lose from that spot? That was the Brussels one, I believe, because I did see that match as well.
So the reason I asked you guys that is because we're in this like Magic culture of ban something right away. And I feel like, it took this long to get Inverter. How long is it going to take to answer it? So there's no need to like ban anything because, let the format take care of itself, kind of.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
And also, like, now Pioneer is a turn 5, turn 6 combo format. Like, that's not so bad.
Yeah, it's
you got
2
6
turns
fucking turns
the
to
modern.
do something with it. Yeah.
Yeah, because what's the Heliod combo?
Yeah, the Heliod Walking Ballista combo.
Yeah, and that's turn 5, 6, something like that.
Yeah, it depends on like how much you can do in the interim between you playing those cards. Yeah, you can do that like around turn 5.
Yeah,
You can do it.
I'm kind of fine with that.
Yeah, how much does Heliod cost? 3?
Heliod is 3, yes.
Yeah, you could do it
the
turn
earliest
5,
you could probably do it turn 4.
If
But
you're
like that takes a
ramping and
very
doing some
specific set of cards going on.
Yeah, and your deck is a lot more diluted to do that. I think that combo is more of a just, hey, these are both good cards in what I'm wanting to do, so I'm going to play them both.
Yeah. Well, here, and you know what? This is a good place to put this in because it relates to our last week's question of the week, which was where does Pioneer kind of sit right now? Does it need new cards? Does it need more bans? Does it need no changes? And even though Magic is in that world of we need more we need at least some kind of bans in something, and Pioneer has that like, oh, every Monday we could possibly make a ban. Who knows? It's a flip of a coin. That was the choice that the least amount of people chose. What was cards need banned in this format, and it was actually tied between no changes in the format and new cards added, which I think is cool to reflect on the fact that, players don't want cards banned.
Well, yeah, it's how fun is it to go fucking buy a playset that you want to play, like, oh my god, this deck looks awesome, I'm going to start playing it, and then, nope, go fuck yourself. You just wasted your money on this format. That stuff you just bought, pretty much useless outside of other formats. And a lot of people,
like some of the cards, like the cards that have been banned, like a lot of them weren't seeing play in Modern anyway.
Yeah, that's
so, like
very
they were
true.
only good for Pioneer.
Like Saheeli, that combo, but they banned the one piece of it that's technically the cheaper part of it.
Yeah, sure.
But that sees like fringe play in Modern, and
Yeah,
that's
very
really
slightly.
about it.
But I thought it was cool that it was tied for no changes in adding cards, because that means people are either really content with this format, or instead of banning things like the culture has kind of built itself up to, there's like, no, I'd rather see new shit put in.
And I think like what I was saying about the new shit being put in, I wouldn't go anything ridiculous. Like I had said to Cory on Twitter about like some lands like Mana Leak.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't want to see Fatal Push or not Fatal Path to Exile rather. Like because that does kind of take away from the format of it being pretty much modern at that point.
Yeah. Well, Cory, where do you fall in on that argument?
Definitely no bannings. I think we banned all the problematic cards that were warping the format. You know, these cards that are these decks that are out now are just good decks, and being good shouldn't have a consequence.
I agree.
And then the difference between Modern and Pioneer is that when standard cards came out, like Modern had such an entrenched deep pool of cards and decks were like solidified that, you know, only maybe one or two, a couple cards would change Modern, but Modern was kind of stuck in its way. Whereas Pioneer, it's not that deep of a card pool. People are still figuring things out. So when a standard set comes, it affects Pioneer way more than it would affect Modern.
Oh, for sure. And like the cards, like you said, they would have to make a significant impact in Modern to see play in that format. We've seen plenty of those cards see that impact, be put into Modern, and then 3 months later be banned because they're just too good.
So
there's also the story of them putting stuff in and it literally doing jack shit, nothing. They might be playable, but like it's not ridiculous.
Yeah,
for
like good
example,
luck competing with like blue-white control or John.
Look at like Jace got printed into Modern, got unbanned in Modern, Stoneforge, Bloodbraid Elf, like a lot of those things were banned. I mean, fucking Valakut Modern ban list to start.
Make Stoneforge great again.
So I'm on the side of just letting the format develop naturally. You know,
okay.
Stop tweaking so many knobs. I think in the beginning of the format, they did a really good job of, you know, trying to keep their finger on the pulse and really not let unfair cards or, you know, format warping cards take over. And now that they kind of got a handle on it, like kind of step back and let that fucker grow.
Let it breathe.
Now, Cory, would you be against if they came out and said, hey, these are now going to be legal in Modern? The rest of the Pain lands, the rest of the Fast land.
You mean Pioneer?
The rest of the man lands, just completing
Pioneer,
cycles.
Sorry, yeah, just like complete the mana base cycle. Because I get not wanting to have fetches, that's great. But there are some pairs that are just better because they have better duels and you don't have to fucking play some of these really shitty ones that are legal.
I wouldn't have a problem with them finishing the cycle, but I think putting them through standard to get to Pioneer is the way to do it instead of, because when you're making a ancillary product or, you know, something specifically for Pioneer, that's tweaking the knobs. And, you know, if you want to put that stuff through standard so it can get to Pioneer, like, absolutely.
See, my point was just saying, hey, these are now fucking have at it. I get your point about standard. I never play. I could give a shit what's in standard, but I get your point of it of Wizards is a company and they're trying to make money and they make most of their money off of limited and standard, like people opening physical packs.
Yeah, there is a benefit from letting things like that happen organically instead of just like injecting it forcefully into the format.
Right. And I haven't played standard in quite some time. But just like Tyler was saying, letting it come naturally through standard, kind of, it's not as disruptive as it would be to just inject them in there.
Fair. I would be fine with that. I was just playing devil's advocate.
Oh, absolutely. I think, you know, a lot of people are calling for white to have more of an identity, to have more powerful cards, and there's just not that side of white.
I'm people.
Yeah.
And, you know, hopefully they hear that and they start pumping up white a little bit. hopefully in regards to Pioneer or even Standard, and then we get that. But I'm willing to wait, for that to happen.
Well, and I mean, there are some successful white decks in Pioneer, namely like the Spirits deck that won the Players Tour in Japan. Like, I mean, that's like technically a white deck.
Let's be very honest. That's mostly a deck that splashes white and green.
Yeah, but the attacking with like taxing creatures is like a very tried and true white strategy. It just happens to be that all of the best taxing creatures that have been printed recently, just they're mostly blue.
I mean, there's Selfless Spirit. It's pretty white.
And Spell Queller. Spell Queller's very white, except for the counter to the spell thing.
That is the fucking bluest creature that has ever existed.
Oh, that's not true. It does the same thing as like a banishing light thing, but it's just for spells, not creatures.
And the Eagle, now that's white. That's pumping up the team.
Eagle! But they couldn't have just made it mono white. They had to make it blue because,
They
blue.
wanted to give it flying.
Because it has flying.
Well, fucking white cards have flying. You just said Selfless Spirit, motherfucker.
No one wants to hear from me.
I'm surprised it took this long for Bant Spirits to get there because it had all the makings. And I guess it just needed... I mean, what from Theros is actually in it?
Out of the Spirits deck?
Yeah.
Actual, factual, nothing.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those decks that on any given weekend, it'll just fucking do its thing.
Right.
Yeah, the only like non-Shadows over Innistrad cards that are out of that set, because Shadows over Innistrad, at least as a block, had like that sub-theme of spirits. The only cards that aren't from that are the Lord, the Empyrean Eagle, the other Lord, the Supreme Phantom. I think it does play some like Brazen Borrowers, which like how can you not play that card? And then Collected Company.
Right.
Like all the other core things of that are just from one block.
And the
Sailor.
It does play, Spectral Sailor, the Flash.
Oh, that was
dude.
from M19, right? Or M20.
Yeah.
Have you guys been brewing any decks? Or have you been kind of against joining the hype of Pioneer?
Oh, I fucking love Pioneer.
And I have been coming around to it. And Matt can attest to this. Right when Pioneer was introduced as a format, my immediate reaction was just like, oh, I'm playing Spirits. This is what I'm doing. And I sent him like 3 deck lists of just like things I was going to do. And my original deck list was not incredibly far from what like the blue-white Spirits is trying to do. I'm not a crazy fan of Collected Company, but that's just because it's green. And like, why would you play green when you just play blue-white?
Because you can pay 4 mana to get 6 mana worth of creatures.
No, but I don't want to. They just need to put
get-
Aether Vial in the format, and then I'm happy.
I mean, you could get all the white creatures you want with Collected Company. All the
could.
weenies.
I'm just going to play the mono white deck, but with just 4 Collected Companies. Just be like, I'm going to hit someday. We're going to do it.
I have been enjoying Pioneer quite a bit.
What decks have you built?
Multiple decks. Like, you send me decks like almost every day of like something you're going to do with blue-white control.
Yeah, I literally have every iteration of blue-white control that you, and that's not joking. I just spent like $50 and bought like all these fringe playable blue-white cards, just in case. I still haven't decided on a win condition. My win
That's because
condition.
you want your win condition to be fucking Elixir of Immortality.
Oh, no. Not that type of control. Not like this.
Yeah. No, he's
No.
literally going back to Ravnica Theros, like Return to Ravnica Theros
Fuck.
standard. That's the kind of person Matt is.
Goddamn right. I don't want to just win. I want you to lose.
Yeah, you want to make your opponent want to fucking die.
But no, I currently do not have that. I don't have a approach. I have technically 3 win conditions in the deck, 2 of which are 5-drop to fairy, and the other one is the blue, not Titan, the Gear Hulk.
Oh, yeah, the one that gets instants back.
Yeah.
I do love me a good Gear Hulk.
Yeah, I think it's been slowing down enough to let the Gear Hulk see some action.
Okay,
I lied.
but
Castle Ardenvale is technically a win condition.
You're
the
right.
land that makes a 1/1 idiot.
well, would you just take that out, take out all your other win conditions, and then just do your original theory, and then see how bad that is, and then just add win conditions as needed.
See, here's the thing. I don't think that that's bad.
It's not that the deck's bad; it just makes you a bad person.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay, that's
Like,
yeah.
it's actually very good because I think about it in like a vintage standpoint. In vintage, generally you don't want to clog up your deck with. You want either a way to find them, a way to control, or card advantage, and then
Well,
you like
the one
casually
thing
just
about
have a
Pioneer
mentor
is
or tendril.
Not
That is one of the shining qualities of it.
But here's the thing: I can play it like it is and still do that.
well, like
I could easily take
some
out
point
that
you're
Gear
gonna
Hulk
need to
and
win
just
the game.
play another counter. The
But
Gear
you
Hulk's
don't-
in there only because it can just say, okay, you're out of resources. Here's a 6/6 to counter your last spell or to draw me cards or whatever, and then fucking go in.
My
And
thing
I really,
is, though,
it's in there because of Dig Through Time is a card, and I can dig through time for free with it.
yeah, I think Pioneer is at the point where you can't win by burying your opponent in like just card advantage because your deck can't have that much more card advantage to use that as a win condition. Where Vintage, you can just like recall your opponent into a fucking oblivion and they could still like technically have cards in hand, but you are just drawing like over 7 cards a turn. So it doesn't matter. You can't do that in Pioneer.
But here's the thing. If I have 7 cards in my hand, no matter what format we're playing, and you have 2, chances are I'm winning. It doesn't matter. I could be at 1 life. It generally doesn't matter. I'm going to have ways to answer shit you're doing.
Unless I'm like attacking you with creatures, which just doesn't happen in Vintage.
No, but that's where counter spells to either stop them. Azorius Charm is probably the fucking best card in the deck, to be honest. It just buys so much time.
I mean, I get you wanting to play Vintage and Pioneer because I'm trying to play Modern in Pioneer by playing the Dredgeless Dredge deck.
Yes. Okay. Now that is something that I'm interested in. That go into detail.
I absolutely love this deck. It was something I kind of played something similar to it during the standard time with the good old Prized Amalgam and Haunted Dead. It was obviously way worse than what we have now. But we got the Stitcher Suppliers to get stuff in the yard. We got the Narcomoebas to get the Prized Amalgams out. Satyr Wayfinder to get stuff in the yard.
Please tell me you're playing Creeping
Oh,
Chill.
dude, Creeping Chill is so. I Creeping Chilled my co-host Hot Sauce. I got all 4 of them out of my deck and
Oof.
just did most of my damage with Creeping Chill. Amazing card.
I love that.
Haunted Deads, of course. It's a great discard outlet once you already put it in the yard. Gurmag Anglers, just to put a fat body down. Sometimes you need it. And then this is the most recent change to the deck, which is amazing, is Decimator of the Province.
Oh, that's the overrun effect.
so-
Well, not quite overrun, but
Yeah, it's Emerge for 6 green. It's a 7/7 with trample and haste. And then it gives everything else +2/+2 and trample until end of turn.
Oh, that's like the fixed version of Critter Hoofbeat.
Right. And it's just exactly what the deck needed. Whoever came up with that, kudos to you because, we were using Driven and Despair before to try and
card advantage them out.
Yeah, card advantage them out. But Decimator, that is just beautiful. You put a Gurmag Angler out, and then, that turn or the next turn, you just Decimator, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
Would you
because
say
a
you decimate?
combination of Creeping Chills and just even a chip damage or them paying for shock land, and then you do that, and all of a sudden your Narcomoebas, some other stupid idiots, are just lethal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it turns out attacking with creatures can win you games, turns out.
Yeah, and there's some nutty draws where, like, on turn 2 or 3, you just have, like, 3 Prized Amalgam on the field with a Narcomoeba, and you've Creeping Chilled them once or twice. It can get gross. It's more of definitely a RNG deck, but there are some gross turns.
Does that deck play the Flash Spaghetti Monster?
Which one is that?
Yeah, Matt, you have never been more in your entire life.
The worst part is I've played with this card a lot, and I never remember that. I can tell you what it does.
Are you talking about the blue one with Emerge?
Yeah, it's 8 colorless or Emerge, 5 blue, 5/6 Flash.
And it taps
then
down 3 permanents.
Taps down 4 permanents.
4 permanents, yep, sorry.
I'm not sure if there's a version where they're playing that. I know some deck in Pioneer is playing that card. The list
the
I'm
list
looking at right now.
List.
Yeah, but that card is seeing some play in Pioneer.
I mean, I played it in Modern and did fucking quite well with it.
It's not Drowner of Hope, is it? No, Drowner of Hope's the other one.
Yeah, it's really gonna fucking bother me until I look it up. So, what has your been last
Good one.
What has been your experience with Pioneer thus?
I am mostly playing Pioneer on MTGO. Haven't been able to play too much paper, even though I've been buying Pioneer cards like a ridiculous amount
Cory,
in the past
you dirty
couple
fuck.
months.
Why don't we play fucking Moto together, you piece of shit?
Why don't we?
Elder Deep Fiend. I've cast this card a shitload too. That's the worst part.
Matt,
So
skip forward 5 minutes and join the conversation that we're in now.
Told you I was looking it up, you fucks.
So anybody out there, feel free to add me on MTGO. Big shocker, Knife City Alchemist is the screen name.
It also me. It's T_Lieb, Lieb, because that's my last name.
Real original, guys.
His is. Mine's like just like, oh, what are my initials in my last name? Cool, let's go with that.
So yeah, I've been mostly playing the tournament practice room is where I get most of my reps in. I know that's not completely representative of the most competitive decks out there, but you get
fucking plebe.
Yeah, you get a good smattering of what other people are trying to brew, and it is definitely interesting.
Well, that's like more fun by a significant margin.
Yeah, I always plan on playing like a tournament, but I never have time to like sit down and play an entire tournament.
You're also getting some shit too.
Yeah. So the other deck, speaking of crappy decks, let me go ahead and talk to you guys about
Blue-white control.
No, this is even worse. This is a deck revolving around Demonic Pact.
Oh, that's the enchantment
I'm fucking in.
right?
I'm in.
Oh, yeah,
I'm sold already. Do you have the kitty offering?
No, so I'm not playing that version. I kind of came up with my own concoction.
Oh, that's out.
Yeah.
No, I'm still in. Demonic Pact, dude. Why would I not be in?
So the thing that really got me hard for the deck was the Treacherous Blessing from Theros. It's the 2 black. When it enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards, and then when you cast a spell, you lose 1 life. But this deck is going to be sacrificing some things, so we don't really have a problem with that. Also running Angelic Purge, with all the gods out there.
Sure.
Exile, artifact, creature, enchantment. You have to sacrifice a permanent. Once again, we don't mind that.
I'd say that's a plus for you.
Playing Knight of Autumn, which is a modal card, very situational. So you can destroy their artifact or enchantment. You can destroy your own. Sometimes you just need a big dude on the battlefield or gain life.
I love the world where you can just be like, Knight of Autumn targeting one of my permanents.
It's great.
Like, that's amazing.
And so I'm playing 6 2-drop mana dorks because playing Pact on 3 is just so much fun.
Oh, God.
Playing, this is, some of these things should definitely change, but playing some Paradise Druid and Druid of the Cowl.
I like me some mana idiots.
Need the 03 idiot.
Yeah. And then 2 Veraska Golgari Queen, because the +1 is sacrifice another permanent, and then the -3 is Abrupt Decay. So, fucking
oh my God. Right. I forgot that her plus was sacrifice something and draw a card.
And gain a life.
And gain a life.
So, yeah, you're a lot grindier. You're not like a combo version. You're looking to actually just...
Oh, yeah. Just grind them out.
Yeah.
Oh, I am very into what you're cooking up. I love that.
Okay, so it's feeling saucy already. Well, just hold on to your pants because we got something that's really saucy.
My pants are already off.
Cavalier of Dawn. What? What does that even fucking do?
That's the white one.
That's the white one, which nobody knows about.
Excuse me.
It says
I know white cards, bud.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is the Beast Within.
Yes, it Beast Within, and it's just a permanent. It doesn't have to be an opponent's, so you can Beast Within your Demonic Pact and then get a 3/3 Golem out of it.
You motherfucker.
I just want to go on record. The mana in this deck is pretty horrible, but
I was about to say you're playing double black, double black, double black,
Triple white.
and some
and
green.
green.
And then we also have God Eternal Bantu as a way to sacrifice things we need to sacrifice and draw cards. And this deck, and then there's just a bunch of board wipes. So I fucking love this deck. When it goes off, it is so fun, and people get so upset. I think that's why I love Moto so much, is people can actually type out their hate to you instead of on Arena where they just
being like nice.
Yeah, or they try and hate rope you, you know? People can actually talk to you on Geo. And oh man, the salt is what
you can
gets
taste
me.
the salt.
It's what drives me to wake up in the morning, you know?
That's glorious. I love it.
When Cavalier of Dawn dies, you just get back one of your enchantments?
Oh yeah, and it goes back to your hand. Yeah,
just get the value?
There's some real fucky shit where you sacrifice that, and then just like go ahead, use all your modes on Demonic Pack, except that you lose the game part, obviously. Destroy it, sack that to a different sack outlet, and then get it back. Christ, I'm in.
Yeah, it is. It's good. It's good stuff. But like I said, it's more for just like the laughs. Like if I get there, I'm really proud of myself. I doubt it would win any serious tournaments, but like all the pieces are there. I'm just not smart enough myself to do it. So, you know, I'm putting it out there in the aether.
Okay,
and,
here's the thing. We have the Fetch and Shock army on our side now. I am definitely going to be fucking with this list. I need to see your list so I can fucking tweak.
Absolutely.
The Fetch and Shock army needs to get on behind this, and we are going to at least 5-0 some Moto leagues, and at max, we're going to win like a player's tour with this deck.
I mean, at least. And,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And the last little spicy tidbit is Charming Prince. Sometimes you need to scry for the demonic pack. Sometimes you need life, or sometimes you can just exile or blink your god, your cavalier, fucking whatever you need, your knight of autumn.
Blink your Cavalier of Dawn?
Yeah.
And just run it back? Oh my god, this is exactly what I want it to be.
Seems good.
Yeah, so hopefully we get some more spicy lands, some dual lands, because, you know, this isn't terribly great land-wise, but
and here
it's
you're
fun.
bitching about me about wanting to put more land on the Pioneer.
No, the only thing this deck needs is lands. Wizards, stop. I know you're listening. Stop printing good cards. Just print more lands for this deck.
Well, aren't the 3-mana tri-land? Those are all legal, aren't they?
They're from Concept Arc here, yeah. And
those are legal.
There's an Abzan one.
Yep. And we have the fast lands, we have the shock lands, we have the check lands,
and pain lands.
And pain lands. So
you honestly also have the fetch for a basic.
Right. Yeah, that one.
The Forbidden Orchard.
Nope, definitely not Forbidden Orchard.
The better Evolving Wilds.
It's gonna bug
that
me.
one.
Prismatic Vista.
Nope. Definitely not that one either.
You know, it's like something path.
Fabled Passive.
Yeah,
That's
there
the
you
one.
go.
I knew I'd think.
I mean, both of mine were also correct.
So I just haven't put like a whole bunch of money into Moto to get like, you know, all the lands I need. So, and there's that whole like, you know, me being not a pro. So, you know, if someone gets their hands on this, they could probably make it doable.
Okay, so all the pro Magic players out there listening to the Fetch and Shock podcast, you just heard the concept of the deck. Take it and do better. There's literally no way.
Cory,
yeah.
What do you think is the best card in Pioneer?
Oof, this is gonna be a very biased answer.
Mr. Hot Take over here.
I mean, it's not that really hot of a take. I just think it's kind of like the shock or the path to exile of this format, and that is Thoughtseize.
That's what I was gonna say. Thoughtseize is by far the best card in Pioneer, in my opinion.
I like it's not gonna win you the game, but
it's versatile. It's
to be feared.
Yes.
Like when you see someone put down a swamp turn 1, you're going fuck, damn it, he has a Thoughtseize.
Yep. They always have it.
Yeah, that was mine as well.
Okay.
I think Thoughtseize is, if you're playing black, automatically the first 4 cards for Thoughtseize.
Well, and I think, and I have an opinion that differs from both of you.
So you're wrong, but
No.
continue.
I think also 1-mana black card. I think the best card is by far over top of Thoughtseize, Fatal Push.
I only disagree with you. I think Fatal Push is probably number 2 or number 3. I only say that because Fatal Push sometimes can't answer everything, where Thoughtseize can preemptively answer everything.
Okay, well, here's my retort to that. In the decks where you're playing Fatal Push, I am going to go ahead and assume that you're also playing some amount of creatures. So in the matchups where the Fatal Push isn't all that effective, you're also just going to be able to put a clock on your opponent who isn't producing creatures. And in the matchups where your opponent is playing creatures, Fatal Push is the best card in your deck, not close.
But Thoughtseize is also a removal spell.
But Thoughtseize against like mono red or mono black isn't all that good.
See,
and
I
those
disagree,
aggressive decks are very good in this format.
You still take their best thing, no matter what it is. And it gives you options. You don't have to take where Fatal Push only deals with. Thoughtseize can take a Planeswalker, it can take a creature, it can take one of their spells.
But when you're Thoughtseizing against like one of the aggro decks, like the Spirits deck or the mono red deck or the mono black deck or something like that, you Thoughtseize that deck and it's just a slate of like medium to good cards that it doesn't actually matter to your opponent which one they take because they're still going to be able to do their game plan. I agree that when you Thoughtseize like the Inverter deck, that's an actual, you're just hosing. But like, against a lot of the other decks in the format, it doesn't matter. Like that Thoughtseize isn't that impactful. If anything, that 2 damage is as valuable to those aggressive decks as that card that they were going to be playing.
See, I think it's just better than... I think Fatal Push is up there, but I think, like I said, I would rather have Thoughtseize.
Oh, and I think Fatal Push is number 1. I think Thoughtseize is probably like number 2, which is not like, great that 2 black cards.
They're also probably fucking changeable, so there's that too.
And they're like a yardstick for the format. You know what I mean? Like, you know how Lightning Bolt keeps things in check in Modern? Well, Thoughtseize and Fatal Push are going to keep things in check in Pioneer to a certain degree, just knowing that people could be possibly playing them out there in the wild.
Yeah. It's just like that great litmus test of what is possible in that map.
Right. And there's a sideboard card that I forget what podcast I was listening to. I think it was the Pioneer Cast.
Are you telling me that you listen to other podcasts besides the Fetch and Shock podcast?
Yeah, but
motherfucker.
I think you guys when I'm listening.
That's even worse.
So, Lifebane Zombie.
Ooh.
Recall this little fella. Is
that the 3/1?
It's the 3/1 Intimidate for 1 black. When it enters the battlefield, opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose a green or white creature card and exile that card. That's just a super strong sideboard card if you're playing black. That can just tear apart certain decks. You know, it's just it's just another Thoughtseize, but can also be somewhat a win condition.
As a mono white player, I hate that you said that, but as just like a generic Magic player, yeah, that's definitely a good one for sure. Well, so like in the same vein as that, maybe not the best card, but what do you think is the best deck?
So I really wanted, when I was watching the Players Tour, the one in Nyoga, was that?
Yes.
Somewhere.
Something like that, yeah.
I really wanted the SRAM deck to. I wanted it to get there, mostly because I spec'd on a bunch of Concealed Courtyard.
Finance Master Cory is pushing for.
Fair.
Yeah, it's the cheapest of the fast lines, so I bought a bunch. But I think Spirits is so. It's what I wanted Merfolk to be. You know, it has all these versatile creatures that can like do something when they enter the battlefield, or their mana sinks, or they can protect one another, and they have lords.
Yes.
And then with the Collecting Company, it's just like fuck. I can't
Can't get in there.
You can never let your guard down with that deck.
Exactly. So I think that deck is very strong. I think Dimir Inverter is going to be. It's going to be easy to combat. I think it's not that difficult of a combo to interact with if you're prepared for it. And I think Bant Spirits is just a healthy looking deck.
Yes. And
it's super close to Modern too. Like there's not a lot of Modern pieces that are missing. Like, yeah, you're missing some of the mana base and some creatures, but you're really not missing that much.
No, you're not missing like incredibly impactful cards, at least as far as the power level of Pioneer versus the power level of Modern is concerned. Like, if it was as powerful as Modern, as far as a format, speaking of Pioneer, then Spirits would be unplayable. But because the power level goes so scaled down, Spirits is in that perfect spot where I also think Spirits is the best deck in the format because it has game against anything that runs up against it. Like, it can just build a board out and effectively block, and while still putting on a clock against mono red and mono black. It has the interaction to make it not just die to like a control deck. It has the interruption that can deal with like the inverter decks or like the Nib Mizzet decks or something like that. It just is so 50-50 across the board that if you just get proficient with Spirits, you can take that into any tournament and feel confident in just about every matchup that you've in.
And I just hate Spellquiller. I hate that fucking card so much. It's so good. So like, you know, if you're trying to sideboard against Spirits, you know, you bring in Anger the Gods, they can Spellquiller that. You bring in the Deafening something or other, the Boros one, you know, where creatures do damage to themselves. And it's like, oh, I can counter that. No big deal.
Deafening Clarion, yeah.
Yes.
See, Cory, you better watch your mouth because Spellquiller is like my favorite card ever. And that's for the exact reason that you just explained. Like in Modern, like, or even in Pioneer, like, oh, nice Supreme Verdict. It says it's not counterable on that. Well, Spellquiller has something different.
Oh, it's Exile, yeah.
Getcha.
See, I'm going to go a different route than of you. I'm going to say that the Sultai Delirium style decks are the strongest. Well, there's a reason. They're so, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm the most hipster of the people ever.
I mean, it did win Brussels.
Yeah,
that's because I wasn't there.
I attribute that to Joel Larsson and less of the deck.
Yeah, because he's just like so good.
But it does have so much, and there's so many choices with that deck. It has removal, it has hand disruption, it has big creatures, you're ramping shit out, and any combination of those makes it super powerful.
It's pretty much a Jund deck.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's like Pioneer Jund, yeah.
Yeah, it has all the hallmarks, like you said. Disruption, big creatures, it can cycle through shit, kill shit. I mean, it's even running a 1-of Scavenging Ooze to just fuck the yard. It's amazing.
Here's my thing. What about the world where Uro isn't in this deck? Because I think Uro gives that deck a whole lot that it didn't have. If that
Uro is that deck.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what if Uro doesn't exist? Like, is that deck just like off the map entirely?
I don't think off the map. It's just not nearly.
Yeah, I think if you take Uro out, it becomes like a tier 2 type of deck. But yeah, Uro, it just that card is amazing. We all knew it was going to be amazing, and it turns out, yeah, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, shocker. The card
first
that
time
says
you do it,
insane shit.
Yeah, Ura's good against aggro decks. It's good against control mirrors because you just get to ramp, and then it is a card advantage if it sticks around because you're gonna draw 2 cards to actually get the 6/6 and play full time. And then every time it swings, you're still getting an extra land drop, an extra card, and 3 life just for the fuck of it.
Yeah, that deck is very good.
That's the one where it's
secretly the best card in that deck is Nissa Who Shakes the World. Like, that card is high on my list of cards that can probably be banned out of Pioneer. That card is disgusting.
I'm actually surprised that they didn't ban it way back when.
Yes.
Well, I think they hit the actual problematic cards, the green ley line. That was the real problem when that deck was just like unbeatable because it's like, oh, hey, your Llanowar Elf now taps for 2. This all taps for 2. And you get to ramp out into things like that super fast.
Yeah, the ley line made it insane. Nissa is just a very, very, very good planeswalker.
Yeah,
oh my god,
real powerful.
And like when you pair her with Uro, and even like to a lesser extent when you pair things with like Corsair, Grufix and stuff, like those cards are just dumb.
Yeah, this deck. I'm just even looking at it right now, and I'm just wow. This is just the 1-ofs and the 2-ofs that just spice it up. You know, like there's one Ishkanah Graph Widow.
Yeah, but it also has that 1 mana thing where you can go search those up. That's why it's so spicy.
And the Traverse the Uvenwald, that's back.
That's what I couldn't think of what it was.
Yeah, Traverse is really good in this deck.
And yeah, Courser. We need to call. You have Joel's number. Call Joel and have him work on the Demonic Pact deck because he'd probably figure out the numbers.
Okay, Joel, I know you're listening. I'm speaking directly to you now. Disregard the other two people.
Bro, don't worry about it. I just shot him a text.
Okay, well maybe he's more of an audible person because I know him closer than you do, obviously.
Oh, okay.
Because he's going to respond to this more than he responds to your text because he doesn't actually like you. But
he only likes people with full amount of teeth.
No, he's from fucking Europe. Obviously, he likes fucking less teeth. Have you seen people from England?
He's not from England, you fuck.
Yeah, I'm sure, but he hangs out with them. Joel.
That took a weird turn, but sure, let's go.
He's really good friends with her wife. No big deal.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
But...
Invites him over to Thanksgiving dinner, which they have in Europe for some reason.
It's just full English breakfast. That's all we just have.
Yeah.
But Joel, here's the deal. You're going to call us in. You're going to be our guest. You're going to replace Matt next episode. It's going to be you, me, and Cory. And we're going to talk about this deck that Cory has. And then you're also going to tell us all about this nice Sultai Delirium deck and why it has such a bad Spirits matchup. Because I do think Spirits is pretty solid against this deck.
Yeah, Spirits is it's so this deck, like I said, has the 1s and 2s and 3s, so it kind of has to hit right in the right situations. Whereas Spirits is just kind of solid all the way around, and it's gonna get there. It's not an aggro deck, but it's gonna come charging with some.
Oh yes, I will take Spirits in this matchup like 10 times out of 10.
Well, like you said to begin with, that's like the 50-50 deck. The Spirits deck is it is the Pioneer 50.
Yeah, you just sit down at a match and you can flip a coin and you'll have about the same chance of winning that coin flip that you do as winning that match.
All right, I got another one here. What do you think is shockingly underrepresented in Pioneer?
Ooh, shockingly underrepresented in Pioneer. I expected, as far as Pioneer is concerned, there to be, I guess maybe it's not like a singular card. So if you're asking for a singular card, I don't have an answer for you.
I thought of a singular card. If I come up with a deck, do whatever your heart desires.
Mine was more of like a strategy. And this is like from the jump of Pioneer. I expected it to be a more low to the ground format, like with more creature combat than it is currently.
That's what it is mostly.
Until
this last week, like 3 of the most popular decks were mono black, mono red, and mono green.
Yeah, but then when actual like pros got a hold of it, now you just have like Inverter. And
yeah, Inverter. This week Inverter did pop off, but even mono black is still a really popular deck, and that literally just says, "Hey, here's my dumb idiots. Get in there. You kill them. Okay, here they're coming back."
Yeah, and I think there's also more room to play with that too, where I think like the mono white deck has more legs. I think that's probably currently underrepresented, but also that might just be because it's brand new, essentially.
Fair.
There's probably also a mono green deck up, even without the existence of the ley line.
I mean, I think green ramp is still
pretty prevalent. Yeah,
it's still a deck.
It's still exists.
You got
like people are just
one
like
mana dorks.
Simic ramp.
Simic ramp's also a thing.
But again, like we're saying, what's under represented in the format. I think that deck is probably better than it is currently shaking out to be, and it might just be because it loses to like Inverter, and it loses to like any kind of deck that has some kind of controlling aspect.
I mean, personally, I would love to see an 8-rack style deck come up, or even one that plays off of the 2 mana. What's that called? You know, where if they discard a land, you get mana. If they discard a creature, you get a zombie.
Waste Not.
Yes. I'm expecting Saffron Olive to make like a Waste Not deck in like 6 months. And then Waste Not is going to go up in price and everyone's going to jump on. But it's still going to be just like a tier 2 type of deck.
MTG Finance Cory sitting over there with 3,000 Waste Nots in a pile.
Yeah. Bought out every one he could find.
That was the only thing he was thinking about. Just like, what card do I have the biggest pile of that I need to ship out?
I love that card in Standard. I tried to make it work in Modern, and it's just too slow for 8-rack. I love it in Commander. And I'd like to see a more, because, the Sultai deck, it has some hand disruption, but I would like to see that being the main part of the deck. And I think what it's missing is like a discard 2-mana discard 2 spell.
Yeah. I can get behind that.
Well, it has
Just
Davriel
print him to
too.
Torok.
Yeah, don't fucking do that.
Well, there's the one in Modern where you discard 2 unless you discard an artifact. I was hoping that Theros was going to have a discard 2 unless you discard an enchantment.
Ooh, that'd have been a good one.
Yeah, and the new
That's-
Planeswalker is, that's an engine and a win condition in and of itself.
Yeah, a little bit of 8-rack style in that 3-mana Planeswalker.
Yeah. So that's just my personal, I hope to eventually get there, because I tried brewing so many decks with 8-rack and waste and just could not get there. There are some decent cards to go with it, like Dark Deal. If you actually get a Waste Not on 2 and Dark Deal on 3, that's a fun little go around.
Yeah, you just get to all the creatures or all the fucking to kind of do your thing.
Yeah, or even throw Whispering Madness on one of your dudes and
It's a blue-black one, right?
Right. That's the one, Cypher. You Cypher it
Yeah.
onto a dude. But,
See, I kind of went
we'll
the
get there.
exact opposite way, and I went super fair. Siege Rhino. I'm really surprised Siege Rhino is not bigger in Pioneer.
Well, isn't Siege Rhino just like one of the best cards in the 5-color Nimizet deck?
Yeah, but it's only like a 1 or 2 of.
That's that's all you need, bud. Siege Rhino just gets the job done.
But that's not really a Siege Rhino deck. Like, I'm talking Abzan.
Oh, so you're talking about like just a straight Abzan, just like play out creatures and then get like your Thought Seasons stuff going, and then just be able to kill your opponent with just a Siege Rhino just on the battlefield with nothing else.
Not even nothing else. It's just generally one of the bigger creatures. And it's super potent, especially with stuff like the aforementioned Charming Prince, where you can flick it and you can just fucking smash for 4. Plus, it just comes with a 6-point life swing.
Now you're speaking my line. I like that.
Like, I haven't seen like, hey, this is my value. And we do have things like, I forget the thing's name, but it's the Birthing Pod creature, 2 blue-green, 2/4.
Oh,
Birthing
Vanipar.
Pod. Yeah, Vanipar. I don't know if it's too slow or it's not good enough. Mana's not good enough. I don't know what the issue is.
It seems like every aggressive deck would just be able to get underneath that. That's probably the issue.
You would need to have Rhino as like the top of the curve in a deck like that. And
See, yeah, that's what I mean.
And
Like,
somehow,
that's your top end.
yeah, I mean, I could see something like a Charming Prince, Knight of Autumn, up to Siege Rhino, but it's just missing some parts, and I think that's kind of why Siege Rhino hasn't, because as soon as Pioneer was announced, everyone was like, oh my God, Siege Rhino is going to be the best. And then it's barely seen fuck all of play. But I think when the deck materializes, we are going to see the wrath of Siege Rhino once again.
God damn it. Okay, Joel Larsson. When you call in next week, you're going to have to also explain why Siege Rhino doesn't see as much play as it does, and answer our question regarding that big beefy boy.
You know what? Now I'm going to have to brew a deck. It's going to be bad, but I'm still going to have to try make Siege Rhino work.
Okay,
See,
here's the thing. The deck that we talked about before,
It's just
you literally-
Thoughtseize.
it's the color of Siege Rhino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
Thoughtseize, and then you have Fatal Push. You have some other controlling elements. Like, what is it actually missing? Like, what is needed to make it good?
Okay, well, maybe here's the thing. Maybe you're putting Siege Rhino in the deck with, like, Thoughtseize and Fatal Push and all these other cards. And then at the end of the day, like, all of the effort that you're trying to put into making Siege Rhino in this deck is not worth just being mono black and just killing your opponent.
So what is it? Is it missing, like, Tarmogoyf? Is that what it's missing? Like a lower threat creature that can
It might
do
just be
work as well?
It might just be missing like the mana base to support it, you know what I mean? Like, it might just be better off just having like the most consistent mana base, while also being able to play like 4 Mutavaults and just being able to go to town and not have to worry about like hitting black, white, and green. Like, the power level of Siege Rhino is just superseded by the consistency that you can get with mono black, where you're just like, oh, I'm always going to have my turn 1 like a Bloodsoak champion, followed up by my turn 2 Pack Rat, followed up by my turn 3 like Murderous Rider or something like that. And you're just never going to be able to compete with that in the current iteration of the format because the mana is so inefficient.
So that's what we're missing. We're missing good mana.
You know what I just explained? That we're missing fetch lands.
Yeah, you did.
I figured out. To make Siege Rhino good, we're missing the fetch land. So Wizards, you heard me. Unban fetch lands in Pioneer.
Well, don't do that.
Modern Light, here we come.
Yeah, I can
Modern
see
Light's
somewhere
actually my favorite domestic.
gross.
I only
can
like
see-
exotic.
I can see I only like Four Locos. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
I could see Deathrite Shaman, maybe popping up in that list of kind of like how the Sultai deck is a little toolboxy. I could see like an Abzan type of feel for it. I just don't. All of the pieces are there, especially because white is atrocious. But I do like the idea of in Pioneer.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Mono
I do
White
like-
Devotion.
I do like the idea of a Siege Rhino into play and then Charming Prince flickering it and then have again. I'm gonna work on that to no avail, but I'll work on it.
I have someone you can call.
Yeah, is it
Joel
Joel?
Larson.
Joel Larsson?
This episode is going to be called Paging
God
Joel Larson.
damn it. Yeah.
Oh, God damn it.
Well, you figured out the name, so.
That's the only thing that I wanted from this conversation is just a name for what I could call it. God fucking damn it. Well, I mean, we're now the Fetch and Shock Pioneer podcast, as the past 2 weeks have confirmed. But are there any other formats that we give a shit about at this point?
I'm still holding on to Modern a little bit.
Oh, the one person clinging on to Modern.
I mean, I'm going down with the ship. I'm not selling my Lilianas. I'm not selling any of my things. I'm just gonna have that deck. That's a forever deck, and I'm gonna have to live with it.
You're gonna turn into the begrudging legacy player that I am, where it's just like I'm sitting here with my arms crossed, being like, maybe someday I'll have a legacy format that's like somewhat viable, and just sitting here with cards that are quote unquote worth money with 0 formats to play, because that's where Modern's.
Well, the great thing about 8-Rack is like the game plan never changes.
Oh, you have a very strong point there.
And it's always decent against the field. It's tier 2, so it's gonna have some disadvantages, but nothing is gonna get banned out of it. Not a single thing is a threat to the format, and so I don't have to be in fear that I can't play the deck because something gets banned. I don't have to have the fear of, oh no, they printed a card that totally fucks the deck, because Leyline, the white Leyline, that fucks the deck.
Yeah. It turns out when you target a player is a core strategy of your deck. Something that says you can't do that? Not
nope.
right.
Yeah, so I mean, I've already figured out ways to combat that. So they can't do anything else to me. The format might be dying, but at least if I were to ever play Modern again in paper, I have that. I know I can always go back to that.
Cory, you just wait. When they print the black Oko Planeswalker that makes rats, and 8-Rack is a top strategy, instead of banning Oko, they're just going to ban the Rack and Shrieking Affliction. And you're going to be in a world of shit.
I'll quit Magic. You know what? I'll
Just
call
done.
Joel Larsson.
Joel. When you listen to this, it's not an if, it's a when. Call Wizards. Tell them to not print that Planeswalker that we described in the first 15 minutes of this
Don't
episode.
make 8-Rack tier 1, okay? I like it just
Make
being
8-Rack
tier
too
2.
good.
I don't think that's a deck that'll ever be tier 1, no matter what.
That's what you.
But it's just so it's the reason I love it is because people, my opponent, gets so frustrated because I'm just tearing their hand to pieces. So even if they win, they're still upset about all the shit that they have to put in the graveyard, which to me is like a moral victory.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Oh,
it's just
the
like,
best moral
oh,
victory.
this thing that you could have done? Nope.
Oh, remember that game plan you crafted on turn 1? Get fucked.
Yeah. Like they open up a 7-card hand that's just like the actual perfects, and you turn 1 Thoughtseize, and then turn 2 just Shrieking Affliction, and then turn 3 like the Planeswalker, and then rip something out of their hand, and they're just like, oh, yeah, I can't do the things that I wanted to do.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, so then they're just stuck for the rest of the game thinking of what could be instead of what is.
One of my favorite things with decks like that is, like, you turn 1 discard spell, and you take something that they could just play the next turn, and they're like, why didn't they take this, like, super powerful card in my hand that, if it's in play, I literally just win the game. And then turn 2, you do the same thing, and they're like, fuck!
You're like, don't worry, I'll be back. You don't even have to put your cards back in your
I'll
hand.
be back. Terminator the deck.
That was always hilariously fun to me.
Fucking, I love that.
All right, 1 second. I gotta go grab the dog because he's barking his head off.
I can do that. I'm actually going to grab a beer. Matt, you do something else.
Fine. I'm gonna talk shit again.
We will now have a short intermission.
Tell me how to live my life, little bitch ass. Trying to get a beer? Go get your fucking beer, you plebe. You probably drink beer through a straw, don't you? Your pinky out, little fancy hillbilly ass. Cory living in California. Fucking California. You probably drink pumpkin beer. Typical white bitch drinking pumpkin ass beers. You're fucked. Because eventually, the fault line, you're gonna get fucking San Andreas all up in your ass. No one wants that.
You God damn it. I can't wait to go back and listen to whatever you're spouting.
Wasn't that much. Fucking Cory's still fucking playing Tiddlywinks.
Tiddlywinks is one of my favorite games.
Don't sass me.
It's above Magic. Oh wait, now I can be a part of the shit talking. What were you saying before? I'll just cut this in.
Said he probably drinks pumpkin beers.
Me?
No, Cory.
Cory?
And then I said something like fucking living in California.
Oh,
Fucking
no.
San Andreas is going to get you. Fault line's going to come and you're fucked.
Yeah, you're going to break off into your fucking own little island, bud. Welcome to Hawaii 2.0.
Atlantis 1.5.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
What deck do you have in Modern, Matt?
I currently have the Dimir Urza deck.
Oh, wait, hold on. Matt, what deck do you have in Modern?
I already said it once, you dumb cunt. Fuck off.
Wait, what's in that deck?
I have that deck, and then I also
No, but wait, let's talk about the first one you said.
I still currently have built is Bant Eldrazi.
But Matt.
Because fucking Once Upon a Time is still real strong.
But Matt, I recall you saying that there's a card in that first deck that is in that deck. What is that card?
Couldn't tell you.
I think it begins with a U.
You're a dumb bitch.
No, that's not it. I think it's Urza. Is Urza in that deck? That Urza Thopter deck that you were talking about?
I already told you once today that I ate my words already.
Yeah, but that was before we started recording.
Oh, you wanted
I needed it on air. Yes, I need
That's all you had to say.
No, I needed
I thought you were just being a silly little bitch.
Well, I am, but like also I need it in a recording so that everybody knows that you're a silly dumb bitch and I was right.
Fair.
So Matt, tell me about Urza and how it's definitely not dead.
Not dead. It has changed drastically. It did what I thought, if it was going to survive, would do, which is go back to the Thopter sword, which is exactly what.
Oh wait, so it's not dead is what you're trying to say.
I'm gonna fucking drive to Carrolltown and I'm gonna fucking piss in your ear.
So is that a yes on it being dead or a no it being dead?
I'm done talking to you. So Cory,
yes, it's not dead.
Cory, the other deck that I'm playing, or I have built, Bant Eldrazi. I built that deck because Once Upon a Time is stupid and really powerful.
Pickle.
Yeah, it's really good because it plays 8 cantrips that each dig 5, which so good. The amount of
Once Upon a Time is disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine that deck would be pretty gross.
The best thing you can do is I've kept hands like 2 lands, those, one of those, a Ancient Stirrings, and some Eldrazi. And the amount of times that I have been able to cast a turn 2 Thought Knot without really trying all that hard is astounding.
I mean, yeah, and turns out a turn 2 Thought Knot Seer is still really fucking good.
Yeah.
So not to change gears too much, but do you think Eldrazi are ever going to make it in Pioneer? Because all the pieces are there.
That's not true. They don't have a soul land or a way to produce 2 mana really easily. And I think that's the
barrier.
biggest part.
Right. I think it's more the creatures are there. Do you think it'll ever get there given, I don't think Wizards is going to be dumb enough to print a soul land, but do you think eventually Eldrazi could get there and Pioneer without a soul land?
Yeah, I mean, because honestly, a Thought Knot Seer, regardless of whether it's turn 2, turn 3, or turn 4, is still really good. Like, turn 4 Thought Knot Seer is still not a bad card.
No, but it loses a lot of its luster when you can't cast it above curve.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And there are ways you can do that. Don't get me wrong. Like you can play like Goose and 2 mana 0/3 hexproof. And you do have the Pain lands, which you do have access to colorless, and you have the colorless land from Ixalan that is the creature land. I can't think of the name of it.
Well, you still have also waste. Like, you could just play like an actual factual waste in your deck.
Yeah, you for sure could do that. But to answer your question, that low to the ground, hey, I'm going to play these big dumb idiots ahead of curve, I don't think that is as good because there are just better decks can do that.
Oh!
Right. The mono greens of the world.
Hey,
Well, the mono greens
conversation we had?
and the blue-red artifact and soul shrapnel blast deck.
Right.
Yeah. No, you know what? You remember that conversation we had about cards that we thought we were going to be in Pioneer that aren't?
Yeah.
Let's add Polukranos to that list. I just thought of that. Not to call back to something that happened, like hours ago. But
You think that's good enough for...
Yeah, I think Polukranos is good enough for Modern.
The new one?
The new one, yeah. The green-black one that comes in the battlefield with counters, and then you can unearth it for double the counters.
And then doesn't it like fight shit?
It can, yes. That card's just like interacts with counters in such an efficient way. I don't know how it's exactly going to fit in a deck, but it's so good it has to at least somehow. Like, I don't know if we need something else.
I don't think that's good enough.
Oh my goodness, that card can just get like disgusting. Like, you can just have like a massive creature for 4 mana.
I think there's just better slots for that though. Like, there's the Hydra that fights shit when it comes down. That is a 2/3 that fights something and just gets bigger and better.
I just think there's unexplored territory with like a blue-black Winding Constrictor list that I think like the Winding Constrictor Polukranos deck could be so good.
I mean, I think it's poised for growth. The card's like 375 right now, so as a mythic out of the set, has room to move. But I think somewhere down the line it's going to find a home. But
MTG
right now,
Finance. Buy your Polukranos now.
Fuck yeah. Also, it's about time, if you want, to buy those extended art cards that come out of the fancy boosters, the pinky boosters.
Oh, yeah. The pinky boosters.
Because those are, I think they printed a little bit more of them this time than they did with Eldraine.
Oh, they definitely did.
But I swooped up some of the Nyx Bloom Ancient. Ooh. And which one's
that? Is that
that's the mana tripler?
Oh, that fucking guy.
Yeah, it's the commander guy.
And then what's the 3 mana one that's looking all sexy in the camera?
The sexy druid.
Yeah, this old sexy druid.
Yeah, the 2 and a green, and you can play an additional land. Yep.
Yes. Yeah, that druid's ready to have a good time.
Yeah, he's hanging dick all over that tree, and he's also making you more land drops. He's doing a great job.
Absolutely. And so the card I'm most excited about in Theros, not that you asked, but it is Shadows. Holy fuck. That card just me right in the fucking sweet spot. Like, it is going to go under the radar and it's going to get cheap. And then it's just going to be a bajillion dollars because it's going to be a commander fucking staple. And I think some decks in Pioneer are already starting to incorporate it here and there.
Yeah, the blue, red, and soul deck, Luncheon actually plays a couple of them in the board just because it's a 1 mana that equips for 2, and then you can honestly just play it. It doesn't even have to be equipment. You can just make sure your opponents and permanents they control, or no, it's just permanents they control, lose hexproof and indestructible.
God, that's so good.
Yeah, the card just does such a crazy thing.
For 1 mana to activate, and 2 to equip.
Yeah, that card's very, very good.
We've seen historically, like, that type of equipment just gets bonkers.
Yeah, see also, like, Skull Clamp and shit like that, where it's just, like, a cheap artifact that you can equip that just, like, does something really, really powerful.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's, like, on the level of Skull Clamp, because nothing will be. But, like, in that same vein of a very cheap equipment that equips for something cheap, but just has a very relevant ability.
Yeah, I would suggest if you're going after him, go after the extended art, because if it's going to see play in like a competitive format, people aren't going to want foils more than likely. So because of the whole like, oh, it weighs more. What I never fucking understood that. I'm like, my fat hands, I can't fucking tell what weighs more or not. But anyways, it's like $9 right now, just the regular extended art. So I'm gonna be swooping those up once I get my tax returns.
Hell yeah! Welcome to the Fetch and Shock MTG Finance Podcast.
What you should do is buy every Wild Slash.
Yeah, my Wild Splash will go down, actually, right? Or it won't.
What's it at? Wild?
It's like $5.
Yeah, it's like $3 to $5, depending on where you look, for an uncommon from fucking Fate Reforged.
Wow.
Welcome to Magic in 2020, boys.
Yeah,
we are in a weird fucking spot, no doubt about it.
We're in the weird spot in Magic, and we're also in a weird spot in this podcast where we have completely just dislodged everything.
That's what we do. That's what I come on for.
That's right. Cory is here. He's just a human version of a crowbar, just to get in between whatever we're trying to do and just say, nope, we're going to take this out of where it's supposed to be.
Absolutely.
Just fuck it all up.
Just start derailing segments, asking my own questions, making myself comfortable.
Do whatever you want, dude. That's your
I love that.
Fuck your couch.
God fucking damn it. Well, is there any other off the beaten path topics that anybody feels like discussing?
I finally got
Mistress Factory.
You're absurd.
I finally got my foil Soul Ring, which is exciting.
Dude.
Oh, is it the GP promo?
Yes, I got the GP promo. A while back, I had bought a bunch of Prosh, the Commander ones before the reprint, and I was like, well, they'll probably, appreciate. I bought them for $1, so I was like, why not? And then all of a sudden, the buy list went up to like $325, so cashed in those motherfuckers and got a Soul Ring.
Oh my God, that is like the MTG Finance guru of the podcast is Cory.
Yeah,
I
don't
need to buy a beta Soul Ring.
Oh yeah, how much are those going for these days?
About $400.
That's all. Yeah.
That's all.
Let me just sell all my rat colonies.
Here's the thing: you buy a white border one, and I will color it black, and no one will know the difference.
I will, and that's what matters.
Well, here's the thing: why don't you buy a beta one, and then I'll white border it, and then you'll know the difference, and it'll be beautiful.
That would literally kneecap you.
I'm gonna buy a white border. I'm gonna buy a black border one, and then I'm gonna buy a foreign black border Soul Ring and white border it.
That's fine. The FBB ones are shit. Beta or nothing.
All right, I'll buy it. Alpha
Beta
one,
is the original.
You're a gatekeeper. Do you know that, Matt?
Not sure what that means.
That means you're trying to be an elitist for Magic the Gathering.
No, it's just that's the best version of this card, in my opinion.
I think the best version is when you buy a black border one and then put white borders on it. That's where I'm sitting.
So, okay, Cory, this motherfucker, our friend Kev, was Fabio, gave him a white or a beta plane to white border it.
Yes.
It's probably just out of spite, to upset you, because that's what I would do to my friends.
Oh, no. Dude, it is so good. No, here's the thing. Kevin, I was over at his house playing Magic the Gathering. Homeless Fabio, friend of the podcast, podcast alumni. I was sitting playing Magic with him, and he looked at me. He's like, hey, how do you white border your cards? I'm like, oh, well, I just take an eraser to the edge and tape it off and make sure it's even and all those things. He's like,
okay, cool. Do you have an eraser on you? I'm like, yeah. So I reached in my bag, gave him an eraser. He's like, okay, cool. I'll be back. And he just walked away and I'm like, okay, this is fine. And he comes back and he hands me a card in like just a normal like penny sleeve flipped upside down. And I flip it over and it is a Beta Planes that he took an eraser to the edge of it, but he did not take any care in fucking like making sure the ends were even or anything. So it's just like so roughly erased that like the eraser's like into the art and everything. It's so poorly done, but it's this fucking beat up basic Planes. And on the sleeve, it just has written, "Have a white Christmas." And he's like, "Hey, Merry Christmas, dude."
Fuck yeah.
This is also the kid that never double sleeves anything. He has power. He has beta dual. Very, very expensive shit. And he just one sleeve and good.
Oh, it's my kind of guy. Play it loose and fast.
Loose and fast would be the exact description I have for Kevin. Like if I had to give him 2 words, it would be loose and fast.
Speaking of loose and fast, I gotta get out of here pretty soon because I have some gambling to do for a birthday party. Which,
oh, gambling on birthdays.
Yeah. He's like, you want to go to the casino? And I'm like, fuck
yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. It's like opening packs, but with like real money.
Yeah. And I can't wait to just lose it all because I'd never fucking gamble. So.
Well, you know what? It only takes one time to be a winner.
Last time I went, I put in like $30 and I won $350. And then I turned to my buddy and I said, I'm leaving. And I left.
Yeah, good. That's the way to do it.
We'll just do that
That's how
again.
you actually make money when you're gambling.
Yeah, so I told him, I'm like, dude, if I win early, I'm gonna leave. And I love you and happy birthday, but I'm out.
I love that. Well, Cory,
yes.
Before you leave, we do have some business to attend to.
Yes.
And that is our game for the evening. Matt, do you know what we're doing?
Hopefully something that would test him on a knowing of cards that is cumulative from his past experience.
You know what? It's very close to that. We're playing accumulated knowledge. I don't know if you've ever heard this game before.
You guys need some theme music. You need to come up with some.
No, you
accumulated
motherfucker.
knowledge.
We need themey music.
We need music that is
Themey.
themey.
Damn it. It was right there and I missed it.
God damn. Okay, so I'm going to call up Joel Larsson. And he's going to make us some theme music for our game, Accumulated Knowledge. So for those of you out there who are not familiar, Accumulated Knowledge, we play this every week. But not every week do we have Cory. So we're going to force him to play it instead of either me or Matt. The idea behind the game is that we go onto the Scryfall website and we pull up a random card generated by that lovely, beautiful website. We ask the name of the card, and Cory is going to give us the mana cost of the card. If he gets it right, he gets a point, and if he doesn't, we're going to lower his gambling number for his birthday party by $10.
I am undefeated thus far.
You are, which
Yeah.
is easily the best record that anybody on this podcast has ever had.
I gotta defend the title.
That's right. You are the people's champ when it comes to accumulated.
It's a lot of pressure. Hope I
All
don't
right.
fuck it
Want to go
up.
back and forth with this?
Corey, before we start, I have a bonus that does not count, just to see really test your knowledge.
Ooh!
All right.
And it is testing your rat connoisseur style.
Okay.
I love the fact that we're doing the bonus before the actual game begins.
Yeah, just
you know,
for the
like
fuck
most
of it.
tests.
All right, Corey. There is one card in Magic's history that grants a certain type protection from rats. Can you name that card?
It is the cat from fuck. It gives your opponents rats, and then it itself has protection from rats. When did that come out? Was that a real product? Was that like no, not conspiracy.
Oh, I love it. And also because I have no idea. Like, if you would have a phone a friend, you would not want to call me.
Yeah. I think you got me. I think it's a commander card maybe from the cat deck that came out, but I don't I don't have the foggiest.
So you're actually pretty spot on thus far. So it's actually called Hungry Lynx. And yes, it is a 2/2 for 1 and a green. And it actually grants cats. So cats you control have protection from rats.
The flavor.
And then at the beginning of your end step, target opponent creates a 1/1 black rat creature token with Death Touch. And whenever a rat dies, put a 1/1 counter on each rat or each cat.
Ooh.
That is themey as fuck.
Yeah.
I
On a
tried.
scale of 1 to themey, it's pretty themey.
It's super themey.
Super duper themey.
But yes, back to your question, Lieb. If you want to bounce back and forth, we can for sure do that.
God damn it. Okay. Well, I guess Cory, now that you've already had your bonus question for this round.
I feel all warmed up now. Good to go.
Yeah, we just nothing like warming up with an incredibly obscure card from a commander set. Am I right?
It had to deal with rats. I had to.
That's fair. It is themey, but it is also obscure. This one less themey, but also less obscure. It is Tragic Slip.
Oh, that's a fucking cakewalk.
Oh, man. Woo. That's I mean, I have nothing funny to say about it. It's a single black, and that motherfucker came out in the Innistrad block. You get like -13 if something died, morbid, something like that.
That is 1000% correct.
All right.
It came out in Dark Ascension, and yeah, it is a 1 black instant speed spell. Target creature gets -1/-1, but if a creature died this turn, it gets -13/-13. So a little bit of banana peel.
Yeah, just oh, fuck it. Let's go from 1 to 13. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got that one.
Also, Cory, if you didn't
This-
know already, you get 3 hints.
Oh,
No,
right. The hints.
Yeah. So this one is not fucking a waffle tragic. This is Skargan Firebird.
Excuse me?
no.
Oh, jeez.
Can you spell that for me?
Yes.
Use it in a sentence.
The Skargan Firebird gonna fuck you. It is
Okay.
Skargan, Skarr, and then separate word Firebird, Fireir.
That sounds awful. Let me get a hint on this one.
What would you like for your?
The flavor text.
Give me the artist. No, give me what? Give me the power and toughness.
The power and toughness 3.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oof. I'm gonna go with a little something called 2 red.
2 red. Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Well, you're fucking wrong.
I would have said 2 red as well. That seems like a really good guess.
It's actually, if you would have got the text, you would have done much better probably. Also, Lieb, there is no flavor text, so you would have been fucked as well.
No! What kind of bad card doesn't have flavor text?
This is 4 red. It has Bloodthirst. So, and if opponent was dealt damage this turn, this creature comes into play with 3 +1/+1 counters on it. It has Flying, and for red, return Skargan Firebird from your graveyard to your hand. Play this ability only if an opponent was dealt damage.
Yeah, that would have been better.
What set is this from?
This is from Guild Pack.
Oh, boy.
That's
I
where
was gonna
Bloodthirst
say,
was.
It sounded very, Gruul-y, the name did, so.
Well, yeah, Skargan limits that pretty much. I'm pretty sure that was specifically in red and green. Yeah, I didn't know this, but there's only 4 cards with Skargan in it.
Oh, Shinfo.
Little fun fact for you.
I love that. Cory, are you ready for your next one?
I'm ready and waiting.
Mine are significantly easier than Matt's. This one probably a little bit harder than Tragic Slip, but it is Spell Stutter Sprite.
Oh, fuck off.
Spell Stutter Sprite. It's, I want to say, off the top of my head, 1 and a blue. What was it in? It was in something that I played. I mean, I didn't play it when it was a standard. I feel like it was in some other set. Yeah, I'm going to go with 1 and a blue.
Cory, is that your final answer?
That is my final answer.
Well, Corey, 1 in a blue would be correct. Nailed it.
This, you
I'm
probably
assuming-
played this in Modern Masters.
Modern Masters
would be my
would be
guess.
the one
Yeah,
you-
Ah, yes. Which year was that?
The very first one.
the OG.
Okay.
Yeah, and Spell's First Rate, like you said, is 1 in a blue. It is a fairy wizard. It has flash and flying, and whenever Spell's First Rate enters the battlefield, you counter target spell with converted mana cost X or less, where X is the number of fairies you control.
That's right.
Yes. Former Pauper All-Star.
It's true. That's actually
Now
probably
banned.
where I saw it.
Yeah.
Oh God, sorry, I just scryfalled my next card. There's not a fucking chance you're getting this one.
I like how I'm giving like just the easiest cards on the planet, and Matt is just shafting. Or it's just like,
It's not intentional. It's actually really fun. Oh God. All right, Corey, are you ready for numero cuatro?
I'm ready as I'll ever be.
All right, this is Torsten von Ursus.
what? Did you just give him the artist for the card?
Nope. So I'll spell this one out for you. It is Torstn space VON space URSUS. Torsten von Ursus.
Okay. I'm
How
gonna
can
go
you
ahead.
accuse me of evil? Though these deeds be unsavory, no one will argue. Good shall follow from them.
Well, that sounds like one of those stupid ass names from back in the day. So I'm gonna go ahead and ask for the what's on the card? What's written on there? What's it got?
I just read it to you.
Nosferatu over here.
Yeah, right on. Okay, read the flavor text one more time then.
How can you accuse me of evil? Though these deeds may be unsavory, though these deeds be unsavory, no one will argue. Good shall follow from them.
Oh, yeah, that didn't help at all.
What the fuck?
Whew.
I'm dying over here. This thing has no text but that ridiculous flavor text.
Oh, wow.
Did you look this up, Lieb?
No, but I'm going to. What's it? I'll look it up after.
I got a fucking 4 black.
I'm going to give you a hint before you answer.
Okay.
It is Summon Legend, and it is a 5/5.
Okay. So legendary. See, I fucking knew it was one of those stupid bullshit fucking legends from back in the day that have like this fantastic name, and it's like, yeah, the card's just pretty much vanilla. Stupid.
Would you really call that flavor text vanilla? That flavor text is insane.
Yeah, I'll go with 4 black on that one.
Are you sure?
No, not at all.
Okay, is that your final answer, I should say?
That is my final answer.
You would be incorrect. This is 3 white, green.
Of course it is.
3 what? Excuse me?
3 white, green. 6
What's the
mana
creature type
for
on this guy?
Legend.
What's the errata creature type?
Human soldier.
God damn. Wow.
It is, if you could not have guessed, it is from Legend.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that checks out.
If anybody on the planet would have been able to get this right, like,
That's why I started just laughing, because it's like, what the fuck?
what even is that card?
He was a legendary human soldier who guided the ancestors of Benalia out of the ruins of the once great Shielalton Empire? Something. I found the Wikipedia page.
I was saying, well, Cory didn't get the card right, but he knows everything about this guy.
Everything about it.
Yeah, he has a sweet mustache, too.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Well, if you would have had me for the 5th one, you would have been A-okay.
What was your last one?
Birds of Paradise.
Oh, well, it's not quite that, but it is also far easier than the card that you just previously.
Old Torsten.
Yeah, old Thurston over there. Your last card,
You
Cory.
fucking plebe.
Sorry, I'll put some respect on that name. Cory, your last card is Blur Sliver.
Ah,
I know this
Blur.
bitch.
That's the one that gives them haste.
Ooh.
If I remember correctly. Now, is that the one from M14? Because that's when That's actually when I started drafting. I drafted M14 like nobody's fucking business because that just happened to be the set that I started playing limited. Oh, I put so much money into that on Moto. Or is this one of the old school slivers?
Oh, only time will tell.
I see what you did there.
Cory, did you know that they move in synchronized swarm, turning entire squads into heaps of bloody rags and bones?
That does sound appealing. So I have no idea. I think there's an old school one that gives them haste, but I have no idea what that one is even called. But I do know that the one from M14 is 1 in a red, 2 in a red, something in a red.
Well, I do know that this one is named Blur.
Ooh, I still have one hint left, right?
You do.
Give me that motherfucking power and toughness.
This creature, which is Blur Sliver, which I cannot confirm nor deny is a sliver, is a 2/2.
Oh, then this is 2 in a red.
2 in a red, is that your final answer?
That's the final.
The boy has done it.
He did it. Woo! The other one was Heart Sliver, just as a...
Yes.
Yes.
What's the mana cost on that one?
1 in a red.
Yeah, 1 in a red is the 1/1.
Also, if he would have given you the flavor text on Heart Sliver, you would have got it, because it mentions Gerard.
Oh, that's an old boy. Yeah, but like Cory said, Blur Sliver is 2 in a red. Sliver creatures you control have haste, and it's a 2/2. Also, comparatively to the old Sliver, this one says Sliver creatures you control.
Not Sliver creatures.
Heart Sliver says Sliver creatures have haste.
Ah, yes, this is when they changed it to not all.
Makes sense.
Hashtag not all slivers.
Yeah, not all slivers.
I love slivers.
Hell yeah, slivers are great. Well, Cory.
Well, undefeated. I was puckering my butthole on that one. I was just praying that last one was easy.
Yeah, it turns out it wasn't fucking Thurston Mick whatever.
Von Ursos.
Dickwad.
Old Thurston Churchill.
Thurston will go down as the single most difficult card that has ever come up in a game.
No one gets that one. That's just a loss.
Yeah, that is a historically difficult card.
That is literally why I started fucking laughing, because that's how bad it was.
God damn. Well, Cory, you remain undefeated.
You're the champ.
Shout out to Mark Poole for illustrating old Thorsten.
No way, is that Mark Poole art?
Yes, well, he was literally one of like 4 artists from the get-go.
Yes, I love me some Mark Poole.
No wonder he has a sweet mustache.
Hell yeah. You know what's
what he was
funny?
Fucking doing?
Also, didn't you say your next one was Birds of Paradise?
Yes.
Also Mark Poole art?
No, it was the shitty new one.
Oh, so it wasn't the Mark Poole version.
Correct.
Oh, I thought you were just going to go mono Mark Poole on us.
Ooh, I like it.
Bud Cory, you're the champ, bud. So that means you get the shout out for this.
Oh, yeah, the shout out.
Don't do that shitty Lands Could Kill podcast either.
No. I hear they have a really irregular schedule that they put out their episodes, and that really pisses me off when I can't.
They do
fucking degens.
7 months, right? That's pretty.
Yeah, it's garbage, and I hate them, and I wish bad things upon their house. So, wow. Shout out.
The world is your oyster, bud.
You know, I'm just gonna go through Twitter. Who am I following that deserves shout out?
My favorite thing is that Cory was so unconfident in his abilities that he knew that if he won, he got the shout out, and he didn't come prepared.
I actually totally forgot that was a part of it. So we're going to give a shout out to Echo MTG. So at Echo MTG, it is a finance related digital binder storage alongside financial data for Magic the Gathering team. And they have an app and they have a website, and I follow them on Twitter because they'll just randomly give like the extended Storm's Wrath is down 19%. And it's now $2.25.
Ooh!
So every once in a while, I'll just be scrolling through, and I'll be like, oh hey, fucking Ayara has gone up, and I have some of those I can get rid of. So fuck yeah.
So if you want to be a finance guru like Cory, then you would want to go ahead and go follow Echo MTG.
I actually just followed them because that's super sweet just to see like Chaos Lace. I don't even know what that is, but it's up at fuckload.
I love that.
It's just random cards you're scrolling through, and you're like, oh hey, that's gone up, cool.
Oh, you see, everybody, we're learning as you do. Oh my god,
No,
yeah,
I
what
like
even
that.
is
That's
that
actually
card?
really sweet.
Yeah, I'm
Definitely.
looking at her right now too for the first time. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even know this thing existed.
Yeah, and I think we like met the guy at some tournament. I forget exactly what it was, but yeah, check him out.
Well, fuck yeah.
Shockingly to no one,
Fetch
Jace
shock.
Wielder of Mysteries is up 101%.
Not
Thanks,
shocked at all.
inverter.
Yeah, you piece of shit.
Fucking scumbag.
Yeah, it went from like $5 to $11.
Well, speaking of scumbags, if you want to follow the Fetch and Shock podcast on Twitter, you can find us at fetch_shock. And if you want to follow me, Tyler, on Twitter, you can find me at basiclandben. If you want to follow Matt, which fucking, I have no idea why you want to do that.
I don't either.
Maybe sometime. You like maybe on occasion have like a reply that's worthwhile. But if you want to follow Matt, he is at It's Bop. And in addition to our normal shout outs or our normal follow plugs, because all we do is shameless plugs, if you want to follow Cory,
You can follow.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, you can follow me at knife_city, and if you want to follow the other podcast that I do sometimes, it's at If Lands Kill with 1 L, because the DCI decided it was too powerful for standard and they banned it.
Oh, they banned the L. L is
Yeah.
too powerful. L too
Yeah.
good, must ban.
Yeah, well, 1 L's fine, 2 L's, that's fucking broken.
How dare you
yeah.
try to get 2 L's in there?
Yeah,
Honestly,
tried-
that's just greedy of you. How fucking dare you?
I was trying to cheaty face it, you know.
Oh, you slimy fuck.
Cheeky bugger, you.
God damn. Well, fellas, it seems like we have come to the end of this week's podcast.
Thank you guys so much for having me on. It's been too long.
Yeah, Cory, it's honestly it didn't feel quite right not having you on for this amount of time. You need to come back in at least some reasonable amount of episodes.
I would be more than happy to fulfill that fantasy.
Yeah, you need to fill your quota.
Yeah. I can't be the third member if I'm not on at least like a third of the episodes, you know?
Yeah, and we can't be your mistress unless you're on at least like every 5 to 10 episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, if Lance could kill is probably the mistress.
I mean,
Ooh.
you guys are younger. You're in better shape. You don't have any stretch marks.
We have
and,
less teeth.
Yeah, which some might consider a positive, you know, for all those gummers out there, you know.
West
So,
Virginia, we're speaking to you.
Shots fired.
Yeah, I don't know. I have divorce papers, but I haven't filled them out. They're just sitting on my bureau, and we'll see. We'll see if I ever fill them out.
Well, when you do, you have a home to come to. Come into.
Yes, thank you.
Whichever one you prefer.
Whatever you're trying to do that particular day.
Joel,
Well, the mistress you're trying to come into, but the home you're trying to come to.
I like coming. What can I say?
A man after our own heart.
And I'm done.
Hey, I think with that being the last thing said, we will fucking see you later, nerd.